My name is Patricia Lee Pawis, and I I don't know what else you want me to say.
Good enough. Have you lived here all your life? Or you...
Yeah, I've lived here pretty much all my life. But I did live in Perry Sound for a bit, and I tried Toronto back in way back before I had kids, and the city life is just not my forte. I ended up coming back home. I love the country better than the city. I don't. The thing I don't like about the city is it's rush, rush, rush. You don't have time to relax, and then living in a box on top of a box, no background, no fresh air. That's why city's not my life.
No way. So how long have you worked at this at the tobacco shop here?
Here, I started work here back in September of 2020. Um, Previous to that, I was working at our gas store, and then I left there back in August of 2020 because my health was not as good as it was because of all the lockdown and everything. You couldn't get in to see your doctor. You couldn't get in for anything, like just like everybody else. And my health, I didn't realize that it was so bad until I finally got in to see my doctor. And I was under her supervision for about 2 months. Phone calls. She would phone me 3 times a week. She would phone me on the weekends to see how I was doing because my sugars were way out of control. My blood pressure was way up because I'm diabetic, and I also have high blood pressure, and I also have congestive heart disease. I had a heart attack, be 7 years this year. Uh, and then out of that, I got a stint put in, two stints put in Sudbury. I had the operation there. And then, and then I was told that I have congestive heart failure. Um, but if I get cut or anything, I heal. It closes up right away, and I heal right away. I've had operations where, and the cuts and everything healed up good. I didn't get no infections or anything, or it didn't take me long to heal. I even had two toenails taken off, and they healed up really good. So I'm lucky that way. Um, we did the lockdown over here, and I worked at the lockdown, which I really liked. I was out in the fresh air when I was on my shift duty. I did the 4 to 12 shift with another community member, and I loved it. And that's what got me started into walking because I never walked. Ever since I got a car when I was in my 50th birthday, I didn't really walk anywhere. Out of car, I can drive. I can just. So working at the close lockup, it got me to where I was walking. Like my hips were so stiff, I could hardly walk 6 feet, and they would get really sore. But when I started there, I just kept pushing myself every day, till I was walking further and further. And then we got moved out here to the lockdown out here, and then I would start from the gate over there and then walk up here to the corner and then back again, and then it got to where I could go to the corner 4 times without stopping, and then I would do an extra tracker. I do 4 circles around the gas bar, like the whole parking lot, and then I'd go back up to the corner and then back to the gate. So I really loved doing that and then it got me out in the fresh air every day, and seeing a lot of the community members that I don't normally see on a day-to-day basis because we're all so busy with our own lives, right? Working and trying to provide for our families. So that really helped me out a lot. And then I went back to the store in August, and my anxiety. That's when I first really started feeling anxiety. So I ended up leaving there. I think it was August 10th or something. That weekend I left. I said, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. So then I left, and then I stayed home for probably, well, it was almost a month when I stayed home. Then I got bored, and I said I need to do something. So then I came over here to buy cigarettes, and then I left my name and number, and the worker that was here said, well, just let Vince know that I'm looking for work if he needs anyone to work, I'm available. And then, and then my grandson, he ended up getting really, I guess like you could say, like a mental health thing through this whole lockdown thing, and my anxiety kicked in over time, big time. My blood pressure was up. I couldn't get anything under control. So then I moved out um, two and a half 2.5 months ago. I was here at work and I didn't want to go home. So I talked to Vince and Noble. I said, do you think I could stay at the bunkie? Because I had stayed there before when I needed to get away because of my anxiety and whatnot. So they provided me with a place to stay because of the my health issues, and I'm feeling a lot better. My anxiety doesn't kick in as much as it was before. So they helped me out in a big way that way. Otherwise, I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anywhere else to live.
How have you seen things over the years in terms of the community here? Have things been, would you say things are getting better, or are things going, like, getting worse in terms of access to housing, or in terms of, like, the community supports that you need?
Um, well, I think it's pretty much the same as it's been like 10, 20 years ago. Like, there's nothing. I don't feel like we're moving forward um, on a lot of things on the reserve. Um, we're not moving forward. There's a lot of us that are still stuck in the same spot. There's our healing center has been a big help throughout this pandemic, like even before that, but especially through the pandemic, they still well, they provided food for the homes. They had to go and pick up the food and stuff and all the water and cleaning supplies, the masks, the sanitizers. So they provided all that for the community. I would say in the social assistance, that is still low. Like the money that I was getting from them, like because I'm making too much money, so I don't get the money aspect, but they still pay for my hydro. But the money aspect is still the same that when I first got my grandson, and my grandson's 17 now. So it's still the same amount of money, maybe just $20 more or something. But then the food has gone up. And there's some people that are on the social assistance that don't have a car. And there's some people that charge an arm and leg just to take them to town. And with me, I just do $25 because all it is going to town. It's not that far, and then I just put the money back into my car. Like I was helping out families that way by taking them into Perry Sound so they could do their shopping without paying so much money. So and then when they get their child tax credit was the same thing too. I would take them into town to get their food and that. Well, one of the things that I've always wanted to see and have always spoken about and said is that the motto for the reserve needs to change. They always say it takes the community to raise our children. Our children are our future. Okay, that part is true, but we need to live up to that motto that we have. We need to build up our youth. We need to support them. If they're going to be our future leaders or whatever, then we need to support them in many ways that we can. And there's people that take courses off the reserve, whether it's at the college in town or on another reserve. If they don't have a car, then that's a stick for them. So right now I'm helping two guys. I take them up to Brit so that they can take their carpentry course. I provide them with a ride because I like to see people to do better for themselves than to be stuck down, laid down, or whatever. I've always believed in that, and family has always been my thing. Although my family don't think too highly of me at times, but that's really nothing. I don't care about that. What I care about is seeing people being built up and not being suppressed and held down, because I think that I believe that we have enough vehicles on our reserve Healing Center has vehicles. The band office has vehicles. The administration office. Why can they not hire somebody to take these people to their courses?
To be a driver.
To be a driver, just to take them to their courses, pick them up and bring them home. You know, help our people. And there's not a lot of people that have cars, and those ones that, you know, want to do something, they can't because they don't have a car. And then there's a lot of people that are that won't do it because some of them are people are working. Some are working on the reserve and some are working off the reserve, but they all have their own vehicle.
Like you could have a taxi service essentially run through the band council, or could have these vehicles that are available. You can book, you could book certain times if you needed rides in advance.
Yeah,
They could come
exactly.
to your house, pick you up, take you to your medical appointment. Back.
We have that. The Healing
Yeah.
Center provides the medical aspect.
Okay.
They do have a band that runs in on when is it, Tuesday and Thursday for in town. Monday and Wednesday is for out of town. Like say if somebody has an appointment in Aurelia, but it's only areas that are within our demographics and what they propose for. If it's out of those demographic areas, then you gotta pretty much provide for your own ride. But they do help as much as they can because they're only allocated so much money per year from the wherever they get their money from, Health Canada, the government.
What are some of the other things that people need here?
Housing is one. I believe we're doing our best to get the housing. We just got three housings, three apartments or housing back on Solomon's Road, and there's three families that are living in there now. Some of it got, like, it was in the works. My brother actually worked on helping to build the foundation and whatever, and then we got stuck. It got left for a while because of the pandemic, so they couldn't get the supplies in to finish building the place. But they're now finished, and there's families that are just recently moved in there. Water, I think we need a better water system. That's always been a big thing, is a water system for us.
Do you guys have I remember hearing something about a water tower being built or money for one being put forward, but it's sort of half underway, or there's a lot of stuff that's partially being done?
Well, we have a water house just over here on the other side of the store when you go around the first corner on your right hand side. There is a water house there, and the water truck does the water all during the day and into the night to fill up the water reservoir by the band office, the housing there. And then when you go up the hill around further, there's a tower there, but it's not a great big one. I think we could probably use a bigger one. Because before that, I forget what year that was when they went through the whole reserve and put in the water line. But before that, we were on our own well water. Some of the wells were good and some of them weren't. Like it had a lot of
Sulfur?
not sulfur, just undrinkable water, really.
Okay.
When I lived in my place where Tim is right now, that my dad built that house way back when I was small. I can't remember if I was going to school yet or if I was just going to be starting school, because the house that we lived in was just on the other side of it. We had no electricity. We had no running water. We walked just a little bit, not very far, to get our water from a water well, fresh water well, and the water was really good. It was really good. It was always nice and cold. And we trucked us older kids and my mom, because my dad was hardly ever around. He was off somewhere working. We'd be lucky if we seen him once a month. But he always sent the money home to my mom for us kids. So it would be my mom and myself and my brother, and of course my sisters and little brothers would tag along. And we would bring pails of water home for cooking, for laundry. My mom did laundry by hand, and we helped her hang it up and stuff. If we were old enough and could reach the clothesline, and we would fill up the tub, the big galvanized tub, and then we have it on the stove and heat up the water a bit for the kids to have baths. So it was always the smallest ones to the oldest ones that would take their. That's how it went with us to have our bath and whatnot. So yeah, my parents provided pretty good for us back then. And then my dad, he built the house that Tim Latterser is at. That's our property there. That's our family property there. My brother ended up selling the house to the band. I'm not sure if he sold the land too, or if he sold just the house. He may have sold the land too. I'm not sure. But other things I could see is more support for our whole community as a whole, and not suppressing us. Like we've been suppressed all our lives, and it's a horrible thing when your own people suppress us in things. Like if we want to do a business, we have to go through them, and they will either say yes or no. But majority of the times it's no. How are we gonna get anywhere? How are we gonna be self-sustaining for our own selves if we can't have anything? If we can't have an agreement, or if we're told yes, you can go ahead and do that. Like we should be able to, start our own business. Because I had one way back when my kids were small. I started with $25 out of my pocket, and then my brother got chosen to go on a student thing. So the money that I had made from my store, I put towards his plane ticket. Because the I forget who ran it, but they paid $1,000 for his ticket, and then we had to come up with the other $1,000 for his ticket. So the money I made from my own little store, I gave that to him to get that ticket so he could go down there. So yeah, more support in supporting our people on what they want to do. Like we have a lot. I know some people that have good ideas, but we need that support. Like I'm all for supporting them with their business that they want to do. So we need that support from who's ever in chief and council to support that.
How many businesses are there on the reserve that aren't run by chief and council?
This business here.
Is that the only one that you can think of?
We have our store. That's a community store. It's not a one-person store. It's the whole community owns that store. Okay. It was originally owned by Wayne and his wife, but then I think the band bought it from them. They sold it, so it's now a community store. This here is Vince's venture business.
And do you see the things like the Cannabis Raid that happened the other day as being part of that suppression?
I believe so, because I don't think it should have even happened. They have all their paperwork, everything's in place. They're providing jobs for the people. They're providing support for the people. Like with myself, they've supported me in a big way that I've never gotten the real support before. When my anxiety would kick in and everything, then I would stay. They allowed me to stay at the bunkie for however long I needed. Sometimes it would be just the weekend. Sometimes it would be a week. I've been actually now staying there for. I know it's been 2.5 months now that they've allowed me to stay up at the bunkie. My health has gotten a lot better. My blood pressure has come down at a reasonable, rate or whatever. My anxiety is pretty much next to none, whereas before it was every day. I felt like I was gonna die because there was so much pressure from my anxiety and my blood pressure, and yeah, so they helped me out quite a bit with that. Right. And then I had a Ford Escape, but it died. So the cannabis business and Vince, they helped me get another car like a week after my car died, and that's the Jeep Compass outside. And not only that, when I'm working here, I'm not they're not standing over me and making sure I do things right. They're not yakking at me if I make a mistake. If I can catch it, then I'll fix it. But if I can't figure it out, I'll call one of my coworkers and help me figure out what the heck went wrong. Because sometimes when I hit the button, I end up hitting something different, and then it comes up as something different. So I just get my coworkers to help me. So they've helped me out in a big way, and I am so grateful for that. Like, I really appreciate the help that they have given me and continue to give me. I have my dog with me now. My daughter bought me a dog in September for my birthday because I told her, I said, I want a pup. I want a puppy. I want a friend. So she bought me a pup, and I have him with me up at the bunkie now because I asked if I could bring him, and they said, yeah. So he stays at the bunkie with me, and he's been a big support to me too, emotional wise. He's helped me. He's also helped me with my health, even though he's a dog. But there's that connection with him and I. He's helped me out quite a bit with that. Just that animal support is really good too.
And would you say that good treatment is in contrast to how, like, what it's like working at the band employment places, or is there, like, it's
Um,
like when you're describing like a really good work environment, is that the case elsewhere here or not so
well,
much?
I left the store. Like, I worked at the store for 3.5 years, or maybe 4 years, and the before the pandemic hit, I was being treated like crap. Like, I don't care if they think that I'm not telling the truth, or if they don't believe me. I already told them. I said, I don't care if you don't believe me or not. I said, but you're not the one that's in that position where you're being, yacked at all the time. And when I left, she said, well, a lot of people were complaining about you from the reserve. And I go, well, who? She couldn't tell me. I said, that's exactly what I thought, because I know exactly who complains about the work here. Everybody here. I already know that. I said, I'm a people person. Yeah, I had my days. I said, but it was not towards anyone. And I even worked when I was sick because there was nobody else that would come in. I was there all the time. Whenever somebody could not come in or didn't come in, and she would do the call around, and I would be the only one that would be available. So I put my heart and soul into working in that store. And then when I started getting all that crap, I'm like, you know what? I'm not. Then the pandemic happened, and then the gate, and then when I went back again, it was the same thing. And I said, you know what? I can't work in this environment. I put my heart and soul in here, and if I can't be appreciated, then I'm not working here anymore. So I left. Like, the way I left, I shouldn't have, but you know what? I could not stay there any longer. I had to leave because my anxiety was there all the time, and I was not going to die in my store or at home because of the um, the crap. I've always had to fight to get a job on this reserve. When I first uh, when I first started working, way back when my kids were at home, they were all in school. I had to fight to get that job, and it was doing carpentry work. And at that time, Wayne was in the office, and I said to him, I said, "Look, you're looking for workers. Give me a chance." And I was told that I should stay on mother's allowance. I said, "Do you know what you get on mother's allowance?" I said, "Do you know what you get on welfare?" I can't live on that with my kids. I said, "I've been, doing what I can to survive, to help my kids survive." I said, "I want to work. I don't like sitting at home doing nothing. I want to work. My kids are in school." I said, "Give me a chance. Give me a week or two. And if you think I'm not doing as good as you thought that I can, then you can let me go. But I want to work." So I got the job, and I proved him wrong, and I did carpentry work for 9.5 years, and I really loved it. It kept me in the best shape, physically, mentally, spiritually, because I'm outside. I'm doing this work for the people. I built some houses. I finished some houses. All the houses down in the village where we live. There was only two new houses down there, which was mine and the guy we called the mayor of the Mudville. There was only our two houses there, and then there was other shells there. So that's what I worked on to help to finish those homes so that people could move into them. I was one of the workers that worked on the tenplex. We took the school it was before it was turned into a school. It was a community center, so that's where we went. We did our in class work, and then outside class hands on was building the tenplex, and I really enjoyed that. My dad was a carpenter. My brothers did carpentry work, and to me, I like to do physical work. So I did that, yeah, and I also took another course when George Brown College was in Perry Sound. They had a women's in the trade course, so I applied for that and I got it, and then I had to take the school bus into Perry Sound High School. Then I had to walk downtown to the college, and then then there was another course, and I took that, and we built two homes on Wasauksing, and I got my papers for that. Wherever all papers are, I have no idea. They got lost in the moving and shuffling of everything. Um,
So, what are the things if there's a new chief and council that comes in, or in the elections? What are the issues that matter to you the most, or the things that you most want to see changed?
well, like I said, I've always wanted to see Chief and Council stand up for our people, support our people in whatever their endeavors are, whether it's having to go off the reserve to take a course, or something like that, to provide rights for them. Because not everybody has a car, like I said, and I'm doing that right now. Is helping those two young men with the carpentry course that they're taking with my own car. We have enough vehicles on the reserve. So what's so hard about somebody being able to use one of those vehicles? We have a vehicle at the band office. Why can't anybody sign somebody, a designated person, be able to sign that van out, take those young men or whoever to their course, and pick them up after their course is done and bring them home? What is wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. And that's supporting our people and showing our people that they matter, and that there's people behind them other than the person that's giving them a ride. Uh, Bring our people up instead of bringing them down and suppressing them. That's how I feel. I feel like and not only myself, we feel like we're being suppressed by our own council. Where's the support? Like I said, the motto is their motto is always our children, it takes a whole village to raise our children. Our children are our future. Okay, then do something. Don't just use that every election time. Live by that model. Do something with that. At one time, our kids were always going into Perry Sound and hanging around out on the streets. Myself and Ann Pamajuan, we opened up the school before it became a school, and we brought in a bunch of those machine games, and we had an area for snacks. We had an area we'd have a little tournament, and you'd win a prize. It wasn't money, but you won a prize. But then it brought all our kids back to the reserve instead of hanging around Perry Sound on the streets every weekend. Well, then when they took us out of there, and they had said that we could go back in there once the carpentry course was over, so that we can continue that work with people, like providing a safe place for them, providing a place where they can come and have fun and socialize with each other. Because it wasn't only the kids that were coming; it was adults as well, and they enjoyed playing those games. My mom's favorite was Pac-Man. She was the Pac-Man queen. She always won. But and then once that carpentry course was done and over, they would the chief and council at that time would not give it back to us when they had promised that we could have it back after the course was done.
Who was the chief then?
I can't remember who was in council at that time. I know it wasn't the one that's in there today. It was somebody else. I can't remember. But they wouldn't give it back to us. We said, well, you promised that. We fought for that, but we couldn't get it back. Because, you know, there was noise about why are our kids always hanging out in town on the streets. Well, what do you have for them? You don't have anything here for them. So we provided that.
And now there's nothing for them right now, or?
No, there's nothing for them. There really never has been anything for them other than programming on the weekend. We do have our rec center. It is now open again, but you have to call in to slot a time for when you want to come in and do workout. But that's for the whole community. There's really nothing here for the youth or the kids other than programs. But there's no like recreational things. You know, they need things to do too. Instead of sitting at home or playing games online or whatever. And that's all they have right now.
Joey's hungry. Doggy this lunch.
Oh.
I think that sort of does it for me. I think that's a good interview.
Thank you. But yeah, the cannabis place over there, it doesn't only provide work for people. It also provides if you're in need of something. I know I seen a posting they have on their webpage that if you need food, give us a call and we can get food for you. So it's not just a money gain thing for personal use. It's to help the community or whoever needs help. And there's products in there that are not that I buy, because I'm not a type of person that will go in and get painkillers or whatever. I'm not that person. When I have an operation, I suffer through the pain because there's ingredients in some of the medications that they give for painkillers that I can't take because I'm allergic to them. I go through, so now I can just go over here if I want and buy stuff for my joints, the cream or the oil to help me sleep. Before I was going up there or I was going way down to Wata, now I could just come here and get it. So there's things in there that you could use other than the other than the marijuana. And the one thing that I like about is that you know that it's a safe one. It's not some stuff that you're buying off the street where it's laced with other junk in it like it has been for years. Now it's got the fatal stuff like the fentanyl and whatever in it if you buy it off the street. At least in these cannabis place stores that are licensed, and at least you know you're getting what you're buying.
Yeah, well, you know the owners and the people that work there, and you know where it is, and there's
Yep.
accountability.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is accountable. Like even here is accountable. Everything. And I like that they gave me the support when I really needed that support. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be right now.
Good stuff. Well, Miigwech, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.